Chair. Mr. Chair.
I'm going to call up Dr. David Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Oh, what a relief. What a relief. Well, the future of work, and I mean that member there, I was wondering where he was going with that. The future of work is, I'm happy to inform the member, proving to be a great boon to our engagement with the public. It is very popular. Everybody has a view on the future of work. I suspect that member was about to expound some more had he had the time to do it. Because actually everyone has a view on where work is going. Work affects everybody. And of course, no matter where you come from politically, it's something that people want to engage on. So I thank that member for raising that, but the Chair rightly draws me back to the bill at hand, and I'm only too happy to speak to part 2 of the bill, if I could only jolly find the thing, because I'm told it contains a number of amendments to the Income Act. If somebody does have a copy of the bill, because I had a couple of things I wanted to say, and I wanted to jog my mind just to see what they were. Thank you very much, colleague. I was distracted by that member opposite over there, and laugh well he might. But I was distracted by his comments on the future of work, which of course are entirely relevant, though not to this debate. No. Amendments to the Income Tax Act. Yes. So the amendments that could have been in here but aren't are the ones that I wanted to look at, because we know that there are many things, as I said in my earlier contribution on part 1, there are many things that could have been done on retirement savings that this government hasn't done. And right here is a paucity of vision again in part 2, because what we have here are the minutiae of how this Act affects the Income Tax Act. And there are sensible things in here. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Chair. There are sensible things in here that we should be doing, that we on this side agreed to. Of course, we agreed to all of it in Select Committee, as did the members opposite who now are backtracking on 1 or 2 matters. But in here we do not see, for example, provisions relating to the Tax Act in respect of resuming contributions to the fund, because the government hasn't done it. They haven't done it. They've foregone $10 billion in revenue, $10 billion had they resumed those payments. But here we don't see any kind of amendments to that respect. We don't see any amendments that plan for a future where we have secure retirement savings, because it's not their priority. And this is what we're faced with, Mr. Chair, over and over again in this House. We do see the fund investment vehicles affecting the Tax Act, and that's recorded here, subclause 3 and of Clause 13, Part 2, the various changes that are being made there, and they're sensible changes. And of course, the member opposite asks what those changes are, and I invite him to read the bill right here. They're right here in black and white. It's a very short bill. Invite the member to read it, and he's welcome to make a speech if he feels passionately about these technical amendments. But the broader point must be made that we are not arguing about those resumption of those payments to the super fund. That would have seen New Zealand so much better off, that would see us in so much better a position, had they not been so short-sightedly focusing on borrowing instead for tax cuts and borrowing and borrowing. It's a government that's borrowed more money than Muldoon, opposite there, and I see them hanging their heads. They've gone quiet, and well they might. And they have failed. They have failed then to resume these payments, which would have increased the savings available to future generations. And that is because they're failing to have a plan for the future. They are failing to plan for the future on that side of the House. We on this side would like to have seen some more dramatic changes in this part of the bill that reflected the resumption of savings to contribute to the most successful, we're told one of the best schemes in the world, if not the best scheme in the world, the Cullen Fund, the one that Bill English called a dog, that has been hailed from Antarctica to Zimbabwe as a superb fund, and something that does the job that we would hope it to do, if only they would let it. And here in this bill, as I said in my previous contribution, we do support the overall intention, but we note again it lacks the broad vision, they lack the plan, they are not making the big steps that they ought to be making, and that's why we see in this part of the bill no big changes in respect of resumption of those payments and any tax implications that might be coming from that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.